But the whole story is that I was a kid in high school selling pork ribs. If y'all know, you know how kids sold chips and Gatorades in high school. I was selling whole rack pork ribs. Daniel Vaughn, man, Daniel Vaughn stopped by the other day, and that right there, literally a surreal moment. Damn near shed a tear right after, because when you go from a kid in high school selling barbecue to popping up under a tent, even though we still do pop up under a tent, popping up under a tent, making no money, doing all these late nights, early morning to set up and make no money. It's such a surreal moment to have Daniel Vaughn from Texas Monthly come out, try our food, and then rate it some amazing barbecue. This kind of guys, it's hot out here. Got a camera in my face. I don't like this. No. I laugh at myself. That was funny. What's going on, guys? My name is Serafin, and I'm the owner of Chicano BBQ. We open up Tuesday through Saturday, 3 to 10 at 2708 North Shepherd Drive at Tequila's in the Heights. Here at Chicano BBQ, we use a 500-gallon offset. We're using Chief firewood. We're using their all-natural seasoned post-stoke. The way we cook our briskets, we cook them low and slow. We do a cold smoke for the first 5 hours at 175 to 200, 210. After that, we crank them up to 250, 275, and we let them rise. I don't wrap my briskets until the end. We wrap them up in butcher paper when they're ready to pull. And the secret is not really no secret, but the secret is that we let these brisket rest for about 5 to 8 hours. We're letting these briskets rest in the warmer, and yeah, we use a seasoned salt mix, a Lowry seasoned mix, and then we use a ground pepper or 16 mesh pepper, whichever ones. They're pretty much the same. Here at Chicano BBQ, our top 3 fan favorites are our torta croissant, our brisket elote, and our Big Tex burger. What makes these 3 items stand out from any other barbecue joint or any other pop-up is that it's different. You know, you can't go to another restaurant, can't go to another pop-up food truck and have these certain items. Our brisket torta croissant is we toast it on a 4-ounce croissant. We put mayonnaise, brisket. We have an avocado green sauce that goes on there. We have diced lettuce. We have tomatoes that go on there. And then we have queso fresco that also goes on there. And mind you, it's not your everyday torta. We use a 4-ounce croissant. So you get that little sweet and savory, but it's not too sweet. It just works. Our brisket elote, it's not your everyday brisket elote. We have a Tex-Mex seasoning that goes in there with the mayonnaise, cotija cheese, cilantro, and a few other items, a little bit of hot sauce. And we top that with brisket on top of that. We put barbecue sauce, cilantro, cotija cheese. And we have an aioli sauce that we make in-house that we drizzle on top. Our Big Tex burger, which kind of what sparked us and kind of, I would say, got us to where we're at now. Our Big Tex burger, it's a double meat smash burger. We toast it on a Martin's potato bun, or Martin's potato bread. Double meat smash burger, cheese and both patties. We put a 1/4 pound of brisket, caramelized onions, pickles, and then we also top that off with our in-house aioli sauce. Come on, guys, man, come check this out, man. These are our jalapeno poppers. They need about maybe another like 15 so minutes. We're about to put in the next 5 minutes. We're gonna put barbecue sauce and we're gonna put hot honey, and then we're gonna let that glaze for about 3 to 5 minutes. It shouldn't take too long. So this right here, we use a hot honey. So mind you, guys, we just started making these jalapeno poppers about 2 weeks ago. Come to find out, Daniel Vaughn said these are some of the best poppers he's ever had. And you can ask him. You can ask him yourself. We're using a hot honey, and we're using a barbecue sauce that we use. I'm gonna show you how this goes, man. So it's a 3-step process. A little bit of honey. Not too much right now. We're about to put barbecue sauce. It's very tedious. Like I said, we just added this. Eventually, we're gonna just probably make our own hot honey, or I don't know. This is what they had at HEB, so this is what we're using. And then we barbecue sauce. The only thing I don't like about this is that it gets the bottom of this pit real dirty. because it gets all this stuff starts dripping at the bottom. But it's okay. Look at that. Oh man, like a little game. But like I was saying, guys, the way we check our brisket, we go by feel. If it feels like a pillow, if you feel like it's a little, it's hot. Damn, that's hot. If, like I said, if it feels like a pillow, if it feels like it's too firm, then it's not ready to pull. But once it feels kind of soft, not too soft, kind of right in that middle, that's kind of how you know when they're ready. And yeah, there's a lot of trial and error. I did that. I've been doing that for maybe like since the beginning of the year. And when I first started doing it, some of them were like not finished cooking, or some of them overcooked. So it's something over time, the more you do it, the better you get the hang of it. When I first started learning how to cook, I made my first rack of ribs at 16 years old in the backyard. My dad built a 250-gallon offset that I used when I first started cooking. So the whole story is that I was a kid in high school selling pork ribs. If y'all know, you know how kids sold chips and Gatorades in high school. I was selling whole rack pork ribs. Man, it's gonna be hot. Whole rack, $20. They're 35 now, but we're at $20 a whole rack of ribs. But yeah, selling pork ribs in the back in high school. I made a slab of ribs. I told Mom, this is good. I think I can sell this in high school. She's like, how are you gonna be able to do that? And I was like, I don't know, I'm gonna figure it out. Next thing, you got teachers, students, everybody was buying pork ribs. Mind you, I think I was like 10th or 11th grade. I gotta put this in the bag. Oh my goodness, hot. Oh man. And yeah, I stopped doing it for a little bit. A buddy of mine told me to take it serious. I got back into it, and it's funny that how like a few months ago, I was telling this guy my story, and how one of the teachers, his name was Mr. Holmes at the time. Well, his name still is Mr. Holmes. Mr. Holmes told me, he brought me to the side, and he told me, what did he say? He's like, hey, Serafin, I know what you're doing. You just need to stop. And that's all he said. And now that I look back now, and I'm like, he could have took my bag of ribs. He could have took them from me. He could have, him as a principal, he could have shut me down. You know, I could have got suspended for selling food, you know. And but he didn't. And now that I look back, I thank him for that. Obviously, him as the principal has to address, like, hey, you can't do this. But we end up still like selling ribs. The rest of the teachers are buying, and it was kind of cool. Now that I look back at that moment, I'm like, dang, he seen the vision, and I guess he's seen he'd rather me selling pork ribs than selling dope, you know. So that definitely was yeah. So what separates me from all the barbecue pop-ups, restaurants, food trucks is that even though we're under a pop-up tent, we're putting out quality barbecue. We're putting out quality items. We'll say separates us from other barbecue joints. I also started cooking when I was 16, 17. I've been blessed to be able to run my business full time for 4 years already. I'm 24 years old right now, and I feel like me being at such a young age has set me apart from other pitmasters in the game, and I have a lot of hours. I think that also has a lot to do with it. Even though I've only been cooking for about 7, 8 years, you think I've been cooking for 7, 8 years, you've been cooking 5 days, and it takes 12 hours. So I can only imagine how many hours I have on the offset smoker. And that's the first pit I started smoking on, was an offset smoker. My dad, I used his 250, and after that, my godparents, they gifted me a 250-gallon that I used up until I bought this 500-gallon. And yeah, just a lot of time, a lot of experience, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. People ask, how did I learn how to cook? How did I gain so much knowledge at such a fast age? First of all, I want to give a shout out to Jeremy Yoder from Mad Science Barbecue. Watching his how to create a fire bundle, how to trim briskets, the type of smoker to get, just his trimming videos. That right there has taught me a lot. The different temperatures, the hot and cold zones in your smoker. And second, Malcolm Reed from Killer Hog Barbecue. Man, I've watched that guy since I was 15, 14 years old. Watching Malcolm Reed do these Memphis MMA, doing all these competitions, doing these. I remember a core moment when I was younger. He did these bacon wrapped chicken leg quarters, but they stuffed it with a jalapeno, cream cheese, and they wrapped a leg quarter around boneless leg quarter, and they wrap that with bacon. Just like these different tips and tricks. How to cook brisket comp style, how to make pork ribs, how to make chicken leg quarters, how to smoke turkey. Actually, our turkey that we do on Thanksgiving, it's from Malcolm Reed. It's a Malcolm Reed recipe that he's done that. And last, Meat Church. Watching his videos, how to make sausage, how to make your own hamburgers. Watch a lot of his tutorials. When he did the collab with B4M, when I was learning how to do elote, we took a couple pointers like the hot sauce and incorporate the hot sauce into the elote. I never thought about putting hot sauce in the elote, and just watching that, just learning and adding stuff that I've learned and seen from other videos and applying it to mine and throwing my twist to it. Just to throw in a couple memorable moments. First of all, being written on the Houston Chronicle from JC Reed, that was awesome to be when he mentioned us when he mentioned me on the Houston Chronicle as Serafin Ramirez, maybe one of the youngest pitmasters in Houston. I ran with that. When he said, I was 24 at the time. When he said I was the youngest pitmaster in Houston, I ran with that, and I took that title as the youngest pitmaster in Houston. And not sure if we still hold that title or not, but that definitely was a big moment in my life. I know I can look back at that and be able to say, yeah, I was the youngest pitmaster in Houston at one point. And Daniel Vaughn stopped by the other day, and that right there, literally a surreal moment. Damn near shed a tear right after, because when you go from a kid in high school selling barbecue to popping up under a tent, even though we still do pop up under a tent, popping up under a tent, making no money, doing all these late nights, early morning to set up and make no money. It's such a surreal moment to have Daniel Vaughn from Texas Monthly come out, try our food, and then rate it some amazing barbecue. Said the Texas Twinkies was probably some of the best Twinkies he ever had. So that right there was it was just a surreal moment to have Daniel Vaughn really come out there. And I'm not saying this just for the camera. It's man, when you go from a kid in high school selling barbecue and to see where we're at now, it's awesome. These are times I dream about. These are moments being on the camera, being on Kevin's barbecue, watching Snow's barbecue, watching them review Snow, watching them review Bar A barbecue and all these other up and coming and Texas Monthly barbecue joints, and just to even be on this platform it's a surreal moment. And yeah, this gets cool. Paul Wall followed us a few years ago, and a few months back he reposted one of our posts, and that was awesome. I was like, dang, like H-Town rapper Paul Wall following us, and yeah, that also was very awesome to have him do that. All right, so guys, the way they're ready, when they look ready. No, I'm playing. When you see the bacon, it kind of looks a little darker. Yeah, they just look darker. The jalapeno, that's gonna be a little longer. It's a little too green. But like this one, you kind of see how it's getting darker, and it's kind of know when those are ready to pull. And then kind of the ones that are closer to the fire, those are usually the ones that usually finish first. So a few challenges that we go through with being a pop-up tent in the Houston area, not just Houston, but just being outside, is the rain, the heat. It's really hot outside. Don't got no AC. Sometimes we have a fan with us. And when it rains, sometimes we have to open. Sometimes we open up. Sometimes we don't. The only reason why we won't open up if it's raining is because if it's raining while we're setting up. If we're set up and it starts raining, like I always say, rain or hell water, we're going to get it done. The last week, man, we had a customer coming getting pounds of brisket, and people are still waiting. People are waiting in the rain. People are shooting in messages, and we're under the tent, tying the tents together, and we're making it work. Like I always say, rain or hell water, we're gonna do what we got to do to make sure the customer is satisfied and make sure that we're able to put a product out that even though it's raining, even though it's real hot, we still continue to strive to make sure that the barbecue and the quality of the meat is what it is. But yeah, this really the heat and the rain that really it's hot out here, man. And when you're in the back, you got a grill, you got a warmer, and you got a fryer. It gets hotter under a tent. It gets a lot hotter than what it is already outside. And knowing Houston's, I believe 2 days ago was like the hottest. It was like 101, but it being 101 outside, it's like 120, 115 under a tent with all the heat, and then you got a smoker right next to you. But hey, like I said, I do this for the love of the game. I enjoy what I'm doing. I enjoy what I do, and I understand what it takes for me to get to the next level. And you know, I'm just enjoying the process. So a lot of y'all been asking, when are we gonna get brick and mortar? What's the next steps for Chicano Barbecue? You've been under a pop-up tent for 4 years. What's the deal? What's holding you back? I'm 24 years old. I started this from the ground up. A kid in high school selling barbecue to where I'm at now has paid for all of this. I didn't work for no job, no investors. It's just straight grind, straight hustle. The goal is from going up from a pop-up tent, the goal is to go from a pop-up tent to a brick and mortar in about 2.5, 3 years. The next big step that we're going to be purchasing would be a Syntex 1,000-gallon smoker. If God willing, all that would fall through next year. And then keep on grinding, keep on hustling, keep on doing what we're doing. You know, being on this YouTube channel it's a blessing to even have Kevin Barbecue come out and want to like film me. You know, I'm a pop-up tent, you know, and so just continue to grind, continue to put out a good product, and if you know, just give it all to the Lord, and if God willing, in 3 years we'll open up Chicano Barbecue brick and mortar restaurant. I've been in the East End, and I say we're gonna be back. I'm not sure when, but we will be back. That's where I do want to open up. I do want to open up a restaurant in the East End, and yeah, that's the goal for Chicano Barbecue. As of right now, we're just gonna continue to add more stuff to the menu, add sides to the menu, and just continue to elevate and learn through the process. So when we do open up the brick and mortar, and it does come time in 3 years, we're all set and we're ready to roll. All right, guys, I know I've been doing a lot of talking. I'm gonna leave it up to my boy John. He's one of our regulars, and he's gonna tell you a little bit about our business and what he thinks about Chicano Barbecue.
So I'm gonna tell you real quick, you can't mess with this guy. Anything you get off this menu is gonna be legit. The brisket, the elote, my favorite's the ribs. I would go for a rack of ribs every time I see this guy. I make sure he stays with one. The brisket torta, anything on the menu, mouth watering. You gotta come try it. You better get out here quick because he always sells out.
Thank you, Kevin Barbecue Joints. Come see us. We're at 2708 North Shepherd Drive. Chicano Barbecue or North Barbecue. Peace out. So guys, so a lot of y'all ask. So guys, so a lot. For now, my tongue numb. So a lot of y'all ask. Just to throw a couple memorable accomplishments or
moments.
Okay, just to throw in a couple memorable moments. But yeah, when I first started the business, when I first started cooking, I was 16, 17 when I first looks crazy. So